So I had a request, and the request was to look at some projects that I'm doing, like an anatomy, And I'm working on a cast album. You guys know this. It's called Axmus, and I am preparing to do comp sessions. We've done a bunch of them right now, but this time we're doing the big number, and the big number is one of two or three, and it is the opening number, as you can imagine. And so I'm getting my session ready. I thought I'd talk a little bit about what I had done to prepare and so on. So it's kind of going on a slow burn. These guys are busy. I'm busy. So we get together once a week, whatever, and do a song. There are 14 songs in total. And so, like I said, tomorrow is the big song. And I thought I'd show you what I have. So I'll show you the track layout. We're going to deliver 7 tracks. We have the tracks that were done in the Red Room. I'm not going to supply Anthony. Anthony is one of the writers, and he was directing the musicians, and his microphone was basically just to talk to me, and I recorded it just in case, and we're not going to use it. So it's really not going to be, it's just going to be these 3. And then there were 4 mics in the booth. We're going to give them all of those. There's one set. And sometimes we recorded in the booth, but not in the Red Room. Sometimes we recorded in the Red Room and not the booth, and sometimes we recorded everything together. And the way this project worked, things just got stashed all over the place. So there were times when I was making new takes, and when you do that, of course, the takes are down under. Now, the take you're not looking at is not visible. And sometimes I recorded it just on tracks, particularly when we needed to be able to see things or combine them together to see if they were working, like if we were going to stack a group twice or 3 times. So they're just all over the place. The other thing I will say is that there was really no way to actually predict how the session would go. I think I may have said this before, but you look at the score, and the score, it gives you information, but it doesn't give you the same kind of information that it would if classical players were. When you look at it, the score of the Rite of Spring, you can see exactly how many people are playing whatever. With this, it's not quite like that. So I was just stashing things all over the place. So my job today is to go through this and get it to a level where when they come in tomorrow, we can just listen to things and decide what we like. Now, when we listen and we decide what we like, let's say we have 6 takes of something, and we're just going to take the 3rd take, I'm just going to mute the sound bites for the rest of them. And we'll just have the 3rd take unmuted. And then when we leave, we can play it once, and we'll hear it exactly as it's going to be heard. And then after, I'll do some post-production. There's another person who's mixing, and I'm going to send the tracks off to them. So I am going to bounce from the beginning of the file all the way out to the end, all of the tracks that we're keeping. So there's a lot of things to go through and figure out just to get this one song out there in a way that the mixer doesn't have to worry about a lot of extraneous stuff. So the original file, I did it in Digital Performer, and I used sequences or chunks, and the chunks, sequence is a kind of chunk, and the chunks, there were maybe 40, and there are 14 songs, so there's 14 chunks that we'll be using. And that file got massive. As a matter of fact, I had one crash. We recorded 5 days, 6 hours maybe a day, and we had one crash during the whole time. And when the crash happened, it took 11 minutes to reopen the file. So I didn't want to have to hassle with that as we were getting these finals ready to go. Plus, if the file gets corrupt, then that means everything's dead. So once we finished the sessions, I pulled out each of those sequences. You can load into a new session a sequence from another session. So I did that, loaded all those into their own files, and now I have them all separated. Since there's a lot of good reasons why you'd want to use sequences, but none of them here really. It's better to stay lean so that we can open the file and it just takes like a couple seconds instead of taking 11 minutes, which is a long time. So if you look at just any given take, there's turn takes into tracks, and that's how I got all these takes to be on the top, because I want them that way when we're listening to them. I don't want to have to go from take to take. And when I did that, it automatically brought these out, and it put the take name both in the track name and also in the take name itself. So these were all take 1, these were all take 2, these were all take 3. The difficult part, you can see this is a gigantic file, right? And so right here, this will show you what happened. It came down, and Anthony's microphone, it expanded all 4 of those together. And then for the 414, which I had on this group, it expanded all those together as well. So now what I need to do is go through and sort these. So that means that I have to take this one, this 414, put it up there, to take this 184 left and put it up there. I have to take this 184 right and put it up there. Someday this will be a wonderful job for AI, but right now I don't know exactly how I would do it. So, and then this is the second take. So I'll take this and put it up there. That's the 414. Then I'll take the 184, which is 2, and I'll put it up there. I will take the 184 right and put it up there. So now I have my take 2s all together. Do the same thing with take 3, like that. And then take 4, right? So now I've fixed all those up. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I think I can eliminate some tracks. So I'm going to grab the tracks here that are on other tracks and just move them up 1. So what I'm going to do, let me just make sure I'll go into the menu and go move to original timestamp. Yeah, I thought that was right, and then I'll take this and I will move it up, and then here, and I'll just take these and throw them up here. That's good. And then there's also one spot right here. And I'll take these and move them up here to here. If I do this right, all the sound bites are going to end up in the right tracks. And of course, I'm going to double, triple, quartal check this. And I can see just by scrolling through this timeline, the yellow lines, of course, are the markers, that there are no other tracks on these ones. So that means I can, this one as well. So that means I can get rid of these 8 tracks. So I'm going to be able to make it a lot smaller, but as you can see, it's kind of gigantic. So, and all these folders, you can see here by these little icons that there are sound bites in here, and they are all full of stuff. So I've got a lot to go through, and I'm going to get to it now, but thank you so much. And what project are you working on right now? Leave me a comment below and let me know. And subscribe. Please subscribe. I would love that. Okay, see you soon.